Hi class. So my chapter was chapter 14. And it was on privileged deviance. Let's just jump right into it, okay? What is white collar deviance? White collar deviance, also known as white collar crime, includes both occupational and corporate deviance and focuses more on how the act is executed versus the act itself. It is generally defined as a crime committed by a quote unquote high status person for self gain through their occupation or on behalf of it. What is the nature of corporate deviance? It takes place in corporations by an executive for the company's benefit or their own personal benefit, and there are four types. There is deviance against employees, which is when executives neglect the needs of their employees and explicitly go against what supports employee safety for three possible reasons. One, to maximize profits. Two, executives' mindsets tend towards what will be the most profitable and rewarding in the near future, which definitely doesn't include their employees' wellness and safety. Three, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, otherwise known as OSHA's consequences for lack of compliance are not severe enough to enact change. Work-related injuries and deaths can sometimes easily be disguised as accidents or incidents and go unnoticed by OSHA. Another type of deviance is deviance against customers. There are various types. One is dangerous foods, which is the selling of adulterated and or rotten food after quote unquote rejuvenating the product. An example of this would be this is a quote from the textbook. Spare ribs returned for sliminess, discoloration, and stickiness were rejuvenated through curing and smoking, renamed Windsor loins, and sold in low-income neighborhoods for more than fresh pork chops. Another type of deviance against customers is unsafe products. Businesses cut corners and falsify information in order to roll out the product and make more money. They do this by using expired, impure, and overstrength or non-sterile products. They use the guise of false research to make profit and get product approved. An example is another quote from the book. Merck was accused of misleading doctors and patients about the drug's safety, fabricating study results to suit the company's needs, continually thwarting an FDA scientist from revealing the drug's problems, and skirting federal drug regulations. This scandal led to major heart attacks and strokes and led to an estimated 38,000 related deaths. Another type of deviance against customer is fraud, which is bank and insurance fraud agencies using practices such as illegal non-banking activities, which are not following protocols before making investments, collective embezzlement, which is stealing money from clients, or covering up, which is making the businesses look more financially secure and stable than they are. Another type is deceptive advertisement, which is falsely advertising products, effectiveness, or purpose. This includes exaggerating claims, um, antitrust violations, which are companies instilling a lack of trust in regards to competing companies in order to have a monopoly on whatever product they're selling. Another type of deviance is deviance against the government. This is when companies find loopholes to possibly evade U.S. taxes or unlimitedly fund campaigns that support and pass legislation favoring their business endeavors. Another type of deviance is deviance against the environment. This could involve illegally dumping waste into the environment and being unwilling to clean it up. Um, what is a social profile of corporate crooks? There is proof of various well-known CEO and executives who've committed all of these acts of deviance, and it is not a secret, and they're often not found guilty and don't feel like they've actually committed a crime. What is the nature of occupational deviance? Although occupational deviance is described as crimes committed by the quote unquote privileged, respected class, most crimes that we study are those by white collar businesses with relatively low status. One type is employee theft. This is actually one of the major forms of property deviance within the retail business. It's usually committed by relatively straight laced employees for a number of reasons. One, if they work at a large or impersonal corporations, this could be a motivating factor. Two, if workers feel exploited, they could try to get back at the company by stealing product. And three, if their job is too boring and unstimulating. Another type is embezzlement. Employees stealing money from the company. This ranges and varies from low level to top level employees. Another type is as financial frauds, which is failure to pay income taxes, insider trading, which is buying or selling stock based off of information that is not public. Another type is deviance in the professions, which varies, and there are as many types of deviance within professions as there are professions themselves. One type is medical misconduct. An example would be fee splitting, which is the practice of practitioners referring patients to other doctors or surgeons and splitting the profits. This often takes place between the referral and the referee who is often one of the worst doctors of their practice, which is why they can get away with splitting their fees because otherwise they're not getting any customers. And another type of medical misconduct is unnecessary surgery. Doctors prescribing or recommending unnecessary surgeries or procedures and profiting from them. Another type of occupational deviance is lawyerly lawlessness, which is the practice of overcharging clients. This can be easy to achieve because there isn't necessarily a tangible service that they provide like there is in other professions. For example, say plumbing. If they fix your toilet, and once they do, when it's a very tangible thing, and then you pay them for it. Accounting abuse, which is one example, could be helping clients falsify tax deductions and income statements to pay less in taxes. The most money to be made is in corporations. And two, accountants failing to uncover fraud because they benefit from it. How does white-collar deviance differ from common street crime? Unique because, unlike common crime, people who participate in white-collar deviance rely on their position and respectability to go undetected. Convicted tax offenders also have the victim mentality and often don't admit or believe that they are guilty. Deviance, respectable self-image. They often view themselves as people who are stabilizing the economy and or that they are actually victims in the cycle. Another aspect is victims' unwitting cooperation. White-collar crimes sometimes and often need the cooperation of the victim. Much to their ignorance, the victim is allowing the person exhibiting the deviant behavior to actually take advantage of them. Another factor is society's relative indifference. To the benefit of those participating in white-collar deviance, the public is often ignorant and dismissive of their crimes. Agencies put in place are also, to an extent, indifferent about punishing white-collar deviance offenders. What causes white-collar deviance? 3 factors that make CEOs and executives more likely to engage in deviant behavior. One factor is deviant motivation, which is the fear of loss and greed for gain. This is derived from a culture of competition that is very much woven into the U.S. culture of quote-unquote success that is expressed as material or monetary gains. Another is deviant opportunity, which is the benefit of high position and or power. The fear of loss or greed for gain are not motivating enough. They rely on the benefits that people initially fall to deviant behavior for. Another factor is weak social control or lax law enforcement. White-collar crimes are more prevalent than street crime and easier to get away with. The consequence is less, the reward is often higher, and there is less immediate risk because law enforcement intervention is almost inexistent. What is the nature of governmental deviance? The abuse of power by government officials. There are 3 types. Political corruption. Within this comes using taxpayer money to pay for services, mismanaging public funds for private or personal gain, and abusing the privilege of sending mail free of charge. Another type is election improprieties. This includes denial of voting rights by using the Electoral College to elect presidents, playing tricks and or spreading rumors and lies to sabotage competitors, and accepting money from and in return giving money to large corporations and wealthy individuals who fund campaigns. Another type is official violence, i.e. police brutality, where it's legal to commit this violence. What are the nature and causes of official corruption around the world? More prevalent in poor countries where it is considered normal. White-collar crimes are more prevalent in poor countries where it is considered normal. Causes and factors to take into consideration include poverty, large population sizes, and lack of democracy. What would government officials do if their illegal activities were revealed to the public? Automatically attempt to neutralize their deviant act is what they do. It's documented. That's what they do. That's what people have admitted to doing. And they do this by, 1, denying the obvious, ignoring the deviance, accusing the accuser, promising to take action, and justifying the deviance. These are some of the most common ways. What causes governmental deviance? There are 3 causes and factors to take into consideration. 1 is lack of straightforward and clear-cut laws. 2 is governmental complexity. And 3 is power. I hope you enjoyed my video on Chapter 14, Privileged Deviance. Thank you.